Good evening, everyone. It stars TyranT, Resident Evil podcast. I've had a bit of a turbulent day so far, so I've not actually been able to watch the footage. I was going to put together a little bit of a video like we have done before with the previous trailers and whatnot. Given that this isn't actually a trailer, it's more of a press reveal. I thought I may as well just watch the gameplay footage for the first time and record it, kind of like one of those lovely little reaction videos you get. So I've not actually seen the gameplay footage yet. I have seen the leaks that came out earlier in the week, which we now know was a press embargo that evidently got broken. And whilst on the subject of that, I will just say it's something that we're not going to cover on the podcast over much, or at all if we can help it. Obviously, in the case of back in November when the PSN error happened and it revealed the logo and the sort of box art cover, if you will, that was a little bit different because by the time I think we'd got round to covering it, I think it had already been officially announced by Capcom anyway. In the event of this leak, which was clearly a leak, it wasn't something that just quite beat a reveal to the punch or whatever. This was actually an embargo being broken by whether it was a publication or anything like that. So we made a decision on the podcast to not cover it because although you could go backwards and forwards for ages about the fact that this is a remake of a 20-year-old game, everybody knows it. Not everybody knows it, and indeed, Resident Evil 2 Remake, for better or worse, will have brought an entirely new wave of fans to this series, and some people might be looking to enjoy the game for the first time and all the surprises that it may bring. So with that in mind, we made a decision to not share or distribute any of the images or videos, and we will continue that all the way through, for any future releases or anything that gets sort of unofficially leaked or broken, will not be covered by us until Capcom decide to share it with you officially. Because we come from a long time ago, the podcast members, and we've seen the sort of damage that these leaks can do. And the big one was obviously Resident Evil 5 back in 2008, where basically the entire structure of the game got pretty much leaked on the front page of one of the most sort of popular Resident Evil fan sites. And in a desperate sort of desire to avoid that again, we don't want to be contributing to that problem. So bear with us. I know it might be frustrating that we're not covering stuff that has even been out in the wild like a few days. We've set up various spoiler sections on I say various, just one. We've set up a remake spoiler channel on our Discord, so if you want to go and discuss stuff there, by all means do. But we'll just sort of politely ask and plead with the community that sharing the odd image or whatever off what was clearly going to be a trailer or a gameplay reveal or whatever is fine. But I've seen in a couple of places there has actually been a breakdown of the opening act of the game all the way up to a specific point. And although if you know the game, it doesn't really change all that much, there's still a few surprises in there, some slight differences they've decided to do. And for people, even people who've played the original 20 years ago, they might want to be surprised going into the remake to see what is different. So just please, by all means, discuss spoilers and whatnot in that specific spoiler thread, but just be careful when you're actually if it's a leak you're sharing, if it's something that is actually part of the final game, if that makes any sense at all. So yeah, that's just a bit of a sort of polite and humble request, if you will. From myself. I don't speak for the other guys on the podcast, and as with ever these reactions and everything are my thoughts. I'm not speaking for the team, so we'll just go. I think we've already been going nearly 5 minutes and we haven't seen a shred of gameplay footage. So I'll just reiterate, this is my first time watching this. It's 30 minutes 21 seconds. I've been shown this one because it's a commentary-free footage of the game, and it's from, and I hope I'm saying their name right because I've had to run it through a translator, from Blitz Online. So Blitz Online, the link will be in the description at the bottom. please by all means throw the you know, give these guys a view, get their numbers up. I'm poaching it for the purposes of a reaction video, because it looks to be the best one out there. So yeah, Blitz Online, links at the bottom. By all means, give them a like. So let's go. Don't know. I assume we're just going to see extended pieces of the images we've already seen. So I'll just pop an earphone in. Let's go.
We've been bringing survivors here.
Here where?
My guys have converted.
So let's go.
We've been bringing survivors here.
Here where?
Carlos.
My guys have converted some subway cars into a shelter. It's safe.
I'm fine.
Personal space. Okay, I get it. Let's go.
TyranT of the Deep is an alien.
Who's the dipshit that closed this? Sorry, we're gonna have to go around.
Hey, what do you know about that monster?
Nothing. I've never seen anything like it. But it's no zombie.
Welcome to
Knows what it wants and
Underbelly.
won't stop till it gets it. Don't you like that in a man?
No thanks. He's all yours.
Listen, I promise you're in good hands. I'm with the Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service. UBCS for short.
Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You guys are the ones who caused all of this.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you talking about? Look, you don't have to trust me, but I'm going to the shelter.
It's a little bit of a shame that some of this is actually done in like a walking gameplay section, because that scene is very similar in dialogue to the original, and I think I'd have preferred it as a cutscene. It seems a shame it's kind of lost with Carlos walking away from you, but hey. Blue Mountain Warehouse.
Nice job, Super Cop. I'm impressed.
We back in business?
Yeah, mostly. But we need 30 to 40 minutes to finish maintenance.
Ah.
Nikolai, how are we doing?
The town's crawling with those freaks. No chance of fighting our way out of the city. Why is she here?
She's helping get the trains running again.
Bad time to start carrying dead weight for her. She's unreliable. Can't pull the trigger when it counts.
Hey, take it easy.
She'll get you killed.
She's no ordinary civvy. He's not quite as sort of tall and imposing anymore, Nikolai.
Oh, come on. Not again.
Jill looks absolutely awesome.
It's me he's after.
Hey.
I'll buy you some time.
Hey,
Oh,
wait.
nice.
Wait, Jill! No! Damn it!
Come on, you creepy ass stalker. You want
Ooh, he's fast. Whoa, he's fast.
Jill? It's me again. You topside yet?
Working on it. So what's the plan?
The old tanks got me clearing the tracks. You mind getting the subway infrastructure back?
She must have gone into a new loading
And how do I
screen
do
there.
that?
Let's start by restoring power. I'll navigate you to the substation once you hit the main road.
Copy that. Let's do this fast.
Substation.
Carlos, I've reached the main avenue. Which way do I go?
See a big transmission tower? That's the substation. You'll have to circle around through an alley to your right to get there.
You mean the alley that's on fire?
Maybe.
No way Carlos is navigating Jill around her own city.
Flames.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. And she's still got the Glock here. No, hospital. It's very much just a continuation of like the, you know, the Resident Evil 2 mechanics, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. No self-defense knives in this one, I understand. Toy uncle. Raccoon real estate. God, there's a lot of movie homages on the posters. They look like a Terminator, and they look like there was a Top Gun poster earlier.
This fine young lady could use our help.
Mikhail. Is this donut place doubling up as the restaurant? This would be an elaborate chase section, I don't doubt.
Carlos, do you copy? Carlos! Oh, shit.
I've read one of the write-ups said there's very much an extended elaborate sewer labyrinth you have to explore. I'm not sure how I feel about that, given that Resident Evil 2 already gave us one. But we'll see. This looks very similar now, even down to all this.
I'm definitely burning these clothes.
Yeah, so you could be back in Resident Evil 2 here. I've already seen this clip. This is where we'll get to see the Dodge, I believe.
Gotta get that train moving.
Ooh. We've got Max Payne style stuff going on here. Stagler. These really are like small little vignettes, aren't they? They're not. Now, Batman tells me Kite Bros is an Outbreak reference, so that's awesome. They're chucking another one in there. I honestly, it rings a bell, but I wouldn't be able to tell you where it was off the top of my head. And donuts. So it actually immobilizes him. Ooh. Drain Demos. Drain Demos. This is I've actually made this quite a set piece by the look of it. Then this is at the electricity substation. From what I've read, yeah. It's just like a proper nest now.
Here we go.
Ooh. Oh, they're much more arachnid-like now then. Oh, they're not even that. Oh, they're very small. Unless these are just like the babies. Okay. They've got to be the babies, surely. There's bound to be. Oh, okay. So this is the new. Oh god! So it's like it's a gamma digger. Still got the insta kill. So that's all they're going to show her, the gamma digger. Here we go. Here's our man. Here's our boy. That's not a bad shout. It's not a bad stars. player's very brave. I'd have been off. I'd have been off. Is that Mr. X punching animation they've repeated there? Ooh. It's going to be tricky to dodge if you can't see the tentacle coming. That's neat. That's going to make him very difficult to dodge though. If he can literally leap ahead of you like that. Getting real Damnation TyranT vibes from that run, which was wicked. In that it's less of like a athletic sprint, more of just a slow lumbering run. That's pretty cool. That's the chalk game or graffiti, not graffiti. Like it's just more, whoa. He looks good. Looks intimidating as hell. And all the features that I think a lot of us were worried about seem far less imposing in the gameplay. His nose and his teeth are barely noticeable. He's got to be a bit more accurate with that flamethrower, Nemi. I'm not really sure how I feel about Nemesis using flamethrowers and chain guns and stuff like that. I mean, it's preposterous enough he used as a rocket launcher. See, I think I'd just rather have a Nemesis just like running and going absolutely crazy. The nice balance the rocket launcher offered in the original was that he was still agile and fast.
Still kicking?
Nice dodge. That's better. As a set piece, this looks all right. I quite like the fact that the roof is getting continually more on fire. That's the end of the footage then. So yeah, that was the footage, and it looks fine. Again, we're in a very different place to where I was when Remake 2 came out, so I'm actually all for them, embracing change and mixing things up and doing things a little bit differently here. So, that's actually really cool. I will say that Nemesis fight with the flamethrower looked a little bit stunted. I've not played this, so it's only just based on my thoughts of these little bits of gameplay we've seen. I did get almost like an Operation Raccoon City Nemesis warehouse vibe from that, where he's just sort of more of a Terminator walking around with a big weapon than he is actually like hunting you down and chasing you, relentlessly. At that single moment of him running up the stairs in between those two zombies was like, wow, that's like a Damnation TyranT. But seeing him like weapon wielding on a roof, slow and lumbering, doesn't give me that same feeling. But I know we'll get probably plenty of sections where he is literally just chasing you down. I mean, the leap past Jill just looked absolutely awesome. And I've read up a couple of things where some journalists are a little bit worried he's a bit overbearing. But I suppose that's the whole point of him. I mean, you know, when you went from Resident Evil, the original 2 to 3, and you were, you know, you were introduced to Nemesis, and he was running and following you through doorways in a way that Mr. X never did. This feels like an evolutionary step up again, you know, but albeit in a different over-the-shoulder camera. So that's absolutely fine. And I'm sure it'll be well balanced and work within the gameplay. Anyway, Jill looks fantastic. The characters seem to be well realised. I still don't know what to think about Carlos yet, because, like I've said in previous videos, all the other characters are quite noticeable as, you know, you can see the classic characters within them. You know, even the small bit we got of Mikhail there is more recognisable of the Mikhail we knew than this Carlos is to the classic. So his is more akin to like a complete overhaul and redesign. He doesn't speak the same. They seem to have like rewritten how his character interacts, and you know, we'll just have to see what they do. Although that sequence with Jill and Carlos sort of introducing each other is very similar to the sequence outside the restaurant in the original. It's just a shame in this it's not a cutscene, it's like walking gameplay. So I hope a lot of the cutscenes aren't done like that, or the dialogue interactions aren't done while they walk between sections and whatnot. I know Resident Evil 2 did that a little bit. We got like, you know, the like Leon and Ada sections as they were traversing the city and going through the sewer, and I do think you can lose a little bit of the fine storytelling. You know, you almost want to see the emotion on the characters' faces, not the back of Jill's head when she's saying, you know, you're the ones that caused all this. But Jill's really good. She looks like she's been realised really well. She's got some really cool attitude. They've done a really good job of capturing, I think, what makes Jill Jill. She feels, you know, like an extension of her. She feels like Jill, but she's just been turned up a couple of notches, and that's fine. The enemy redesigns, and you know, the brain sucker we got, not the brain sucker, the drain demos. I assume they're like smaller versions of the bigger monster that'll get revealed later. If they're just a smaller arachnid type things, which I kind of hope they're not, because I'd really like to see the classic walking bipedal version as it's chasing you and whatnot. And the Gamma does look like an oversized dinosaur, and you know, the mouth opening in 4 ways like the Gravedigger cannot be an accident. So I do wonder why they've done that. We'll call him the Hunter Grave Gamma or Gamma Digger. I'll let the other fan base come up with a good name. But all in all, that looks all right. There's not really much more to say that you're not sort of thinking for yourselves, I'm sure. Because it wasn't really a section as such; it was just small bite-sized chunks, and yeah, there's not. I think more or less covers everything. The city looks okay. I sort of share. I mean, I've seen Batman on the Discord a little while ago said he doesn't like the high-rise version of Raccoon. I kind of agree with him. I preferred the sort of smaller, you know, smaller town feel of Raccoon as opposed to skyscrapers and very modernised buildings and whatnot, but it's nice to see Jill will spend more time on the back streets than, you know, the main streets as such, which, you know, follows the Resident Evil 3 aesthetic pretty well. No sign of the RPD. We've seen the substation, so I assume that was a small glimpse of the hospital we saw with the white walls and the green strips. Again, not too sure about another sewer section. Hopefully it'll just be a small conduit to it, you know, another one of the main locales. So I think even though we've just seen 13 minutes of gameplay and 13 minutes of the game, they've still not really shown a lot, and I think that's good. I think they're going to keep a lot of surprises. So I will leave it there pretty much. Yeah. We'll cover this, I'm sure, in an upcoming episode. I've just got to converse with the guys to see what we're doing, because we're going to get one episode out as a kind of like final preview. I don't know if we're doing another one to cover this in the interim, so you'll probably have to just check out the guys' Twitters and whatnot, and check us out on the Discord if you wanted the other guys' thoughts. But yeah, I mean, I think that looks solid. I think it just looks like an extension of what Resident Evil 2 was building. And, you know, whatever my issues with the narrative and the game as a remake, Resident Evil 2 was a fantastic experience to play. And if that does all this, then that, you know, it's only going to continue with the success that Capcom enjoyed with Remake 2. So it's looking promising, it's looking good. Nemesis looks great, Jill looks fantastic. The characters seem to be fairly well realised. The monsters are different, which I suppose will mix it up a bit. And that's about where I'll leave it, I think. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll get some streams out there soon. And what's going on?
Captain! Thanks.
So, this is an idea I've had for quite some time. And the idea was, can we possibly present an animated version of Heavenly Island, since it looks like it's not going to get distributed anytime soon in the West. I didn't have any copies of Heavenly Island accessible to do a little test strip. So there you go. That was a small 3 or 4 pages of Mahara Desire, realised as a quirky, you know, this was just a test. It's not the final product or anything like that. I'm never ever going to get the final product made, but that is a proof of concept, if you like, for a Mahara Desire or Heavenly Island motion comic. So that's just a little surprise I thought I'd chuck in at the end, just to see, you know, those of you that managed to make it to the end. This will not be launching with the podcast website. This is something that is a personal project. That should it ever come to fruition, should it ever be made, would obviously debut on the podcast website. But it's very much early days with this. It would take an actual, like, you know, team of sorts, I would think, to get this anywhere close to being even remotely done, let alone finished. But yeah, I just thought I'd chuck it in as a nice little surprise at the end, because to be honest, it's just been sat on our YouTube for a couple of weeks now. I haven't had any more chance to work on anything. But if you like the idea of a Mahara Desire, Heavenly Island, or Prelude to the Fall motion comic, then let us know, and it'll never get made. So there you go. But thank you for watching all the way to the end, if you did make it. And yeah, look forward to some streams soon. And the website launch is hopefully imminent. So yeah, good. Cheers. Thank you very much, and good night.